right, Shalom. Audio should be good now. All right. Double check it one more time. Check the audio here. One second. All right, it's good. All right. Shalom, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Okay, today we're going to talk about understanding what salvation entails. There's a lot of people, you know, they say they believe in the scriptures, they say they love the Lord, but if you love the Lord, you're going to want the things that he wants. The Lord wants to establish the kingdom of heaven upon the earth, okay? And if you're serious about this thing, you're going to know what that even means. There was a question a couple days ago. Apostle Gabar responded to it. Elder Manasseh Zakbar responded to it. I've seen it in the chat with various brothers here in the Dallas camp. A woman came on the comment board and asked, if there's going to be men of the Lord with concubines, doesn't that mean that those concubines are receiving salvation if they're with those men? Now, that's sprouting from one or two places. That feminist spirit that, you don't want, your man dealing with other women, especially women of other nations. You can't take that mindset in the kingdom, one. Or it's coming from the place that, Christians are coming from. They're trying to find an avenue to save the other nations. One of the things, all right, just one of the things we're going to talk about today is immortality. There's only going to be one family of people that are immortal on the earth, okay? And that's the people of the covenant. All right, so the first precept I want to go to is Philippians, the 3rd chapter. And I'm going to start at the 20th verse. The point I want is in 21, right? But let's read. It says, for our conversation is in heaven. Now, when you look up that word conversation here in Philippians 3 and 20, you're going to get G4175. And the word is Philithuma, okay? If I'm saying that right. Now, it says what? The administration of civil affairs or of a commonwealth. The constitution of a commonwealth, form, government. Hey, somebody get Mike out of here. The letter J was invented a couple hundred years ago. Was that his name? It wasn't his name. This guy's a troll. Florida, at the Florida Gators. Get him out of here. Or putting you in timeout or something. Let's put this guy in timeout. You're out there. It's not his name. Just listen. Ecclesiastes 5:1, man. Read that real quick before you get your panties in a bunch. Now, the word there is Ptolemy, G4175. And we're looking up the word conversation in Philippians 3 and 20. You look that word up. The second definition, it says the constitution of a commonwealth, form of government, and the laws by which it is administered. The kingdom of heaven is going to be a government on the face of the earth. All right? Most people, they don't know that. And not only is it going to be a government, it's going to be fashioned after, on a higher level, obviously, when King David ruled, when he had all the other nations in subjection. The throne of David and the kingdom of heaven they go together. All right? So let's read that again, Philippians 3 and 20. For our conversation is in heaven. When the Lord returns, that government that we're talking about is going to be upon the earth. That's Revelation 5 and 10, I believe. We'll get that later. It says, from whence also we look for our Savior, the Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, 21. It says, who shall change our vile body? Let's look that word vile up. Okay, in Philippians 3 and 21. Give me 1 second. You look that word vile up there. It's tapanosis. It says depression in rank or feeling. Now, even going back to Genesis, you had 3 classifications of men, right? You had the sons of God, which today those same spirits would be the Israelites. You had the sons of the wicked, which today those same spirits would be the Edomites. And you had the sons of man, which were the other nations. So even back then, what did the sons of God do? They were disobedient. They took to another way outside of the Lord's way. So they declined in rank because they were created to be what? Immortal. But they lost that privilege through disobedience. We're I'm a part of that number. We're a part of the fold who's going to be the first fruits to get that privilege of immortality back. You understand? All right, so this is G 5014. Again, Tapnosis, it says, lowness, low estate, spiritual abasement, leading one to perceive and lament his moral littleness and guilt. Our vile body being changed. Okay? Let me check this audio here. Body being changed. Okay? Okay, yeah, it's working. All right, now, Karen, not that Karen. I gotta have some better names. I gotta put some better names in y'all YouTube accounts. Anyway, it goes on to say, who shall change our vile body? Now we know what that word vile means. That it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body. Because the Lord was without sin, and he was eligible to be a sacrifice for us on our behalf, on the family of the heavens. Now, that body that was void of sin, death couldn't take it. It had no grips over that spirit. Okay? And to be, whoa, it's got to be bots. Delete this guy. Let's come back with all these bullshit ass pages. All right, now, again, Philippians 3:21. Who shall change our vile body that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able to even subdue all things to himself. That privilege isn't going to be given to the other nations, to be immortal, to have that body that's not only terrestrial, but extraterrestrial, something new. That's only reserved for the Israelites. To have manipulation over the elements, that's for the Israelites. That status, that dominion, that rulership and domination of the earth that was created for our sakes is for the family of the heavens and no one else. Just because the other nations are going to be in the kingdom of heaven doesn't mean they're receiving salvation. You don't know what salvation entails. Okay? Let's go to Jeremiah 31:31. Let's nail this, keep nailing this point home here. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Nowhere are the other nations in this verse. It's talking about the same people that he delivered from Egypt. Same people. Okay? And you go to Romans 9:4, it says, who pertain to adoption and the covenants with an S. Both covenants pertain unto the same family of people. There's no supersessionalism, that term that vocab came up with. I'm not sure if he came up with it, but that's what they're pushing. All right, but this is verse 32, Jeremiah 31:32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took their hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them. Jeremiah the 3rd chapter, the Lord is married unto us, right? We're supposed to, we were being a wicked wife. A wife is supposed to forward the will of her husband. Okay? Verse 33, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts, meaning it's going to be in our programming. It's going to be incapable for us to go off and sin. And if you're void of sin, you're also what? You're also immortal. You're incorruptible. All right? Verse 33 again, from the top. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. Why? Because we're going to be void of sin. We're not going to be making lessons and videos. You had some guys a while back that were saying we're in the new covenant. What? We wouldn't have to be teaching each other and we would have complete dominion over the nations and the earth. What is this guy talking about? When we're changed and taken up and we're changed, when we come back down, everything is going to be under our feet. We're going to have complete control and dominion over everything and everybody. All right, continuing on. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. For they all shall know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity and will remember their sin no more. All right? Now let's go to First John, the third chapter. And I want here just start here at the top. First John 3 and 1. Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us. All right. All right, AI. Somebody's a bot. Um, do we believe that his name is Yahweh Shai? There's no J in the language our forefathers spoke, but we believe Yahweh Shai, what he's the bridgeway to the Father. All things were bestowed unto the Son. Yes, we acknowledge him. If you don't acknowledge him, there's no way you can receive salvation. Okay? But that name that you keep putting up, you're low level, which means, that Jesus, which translates the earth pig, that transliteration of a transliteration is not the Lord's name. There's no power in that name that you're calling upon. And oftentimes when you're calling upon that name, you don't know the real vibration of the Lord. You don't know what the Lord really wants. You don't know how he operates in judgment. There's so many things that you don't grasp when you use that name. And you don't have access to the power and the protection that you're going to need. The scriptures pose the question. Let's go get it really quick for this little side tangent. Hey, I'll humor the machine. All right. The scriptures pose this question. All right. Proverbs 30 and 4 says, who hath ascended up into heaven or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fist? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Now, if it was just God in Jesus, which English wasn't around when our Lord walked the earth. So, with that being said, the letter J wasn't, the J sound isn't in the Paleo Hebrew. So, what is his name? And that's only given to the elect of the nation of Israel, that they're going to have the true name and be able to call and pray on them, pray to that name. So, yeah, most people, they're going to be calling on the J word when all hell is breaking loose and there's much death going on. They're going to be calling on that J word, and there's no power. That means you didn't do enough due diligence to actually seek the Father and His Son. If you're just calling on Jesus, you do what? If you say you believe in the scriptures, be serious about it. All right. So that's all. And yeah, you're out of here. So cool. All right, now back to the point of the lesson. Um, 1 John 3 and 2. Beloved, now we are the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, because it's going to be something new, man. Extraterrestrial and terrestrial, something mixed together that's new, and where you have that superhuman nature, that super nature, that spiritual nature, but we're able to be on the earth. It's going to be something new that the Lord does. All right, verse 2. Beloved, now we are the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him. So we're going to be in that superhuman body that's void of sin, which grants us access to immortality on the earth, and we're going to reign. That's not for any nation of people besides the people that the Lord had the contract with. All right, verse 3. And every man, oh, I didn't finish verse 2. All right. We shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Then it goes on to verse 3. And every man that hath this hope, and him purified himself, even as he is pure. So you're going to be rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of your ability. Simply put. Now let's go on. I want to jump down to John, the 11th chapter, and we'll start at verse 23. Okay, because I want to point out that people understood what the everlasting kingdom, what it granted access to, even back then during Yahushua's time. Most people don't know now, but back then people knew what it meant for the kingdom of heaven to be established on the earth. They knew what it meant for the people of the contract. It's John 11:23. It says, Yahweh said unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Martha saith unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. So the people knew, all right, that okay, this covenant that we have with the master of the universe is going to lead us to immortality. We're going to be completely different from the other nations. People knew that. They understood it. You see? Now you go on, it reads what? Yahweh said unto her, I am the resurrection, meaning that what? He was the spirit that would grant us access to the kingdom. Okay? I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. So Yahweh Shah, who the world English calls Jesus, was iterates, hey, I'm that spirit that's gonna usher that kingdom in, you know. So now let's go to First Corinthians, because we mentioned it at the beginning of the lesson. It's being changed in the twinkling of an eye, right? So let's go to First Corinthians 15, and we'll start at 52. It says, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, and when we're taken up as the missiles are falling, okay, as all hell is breaking loose, and the elect are being beamed up, right? Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, the strangeness of his salvation, okay? As you're being taken up, you're going to be given that new body in that instant. This low-level body full of microplastics and all kind of cancerous, bacteria, things of Esau's creation, that's going to be shed before you're taken up. You're not going to be in the chariot standing in there, with high blood pressure. Hell no. You're going to be changed. You're going to be in that perfect vessel, looking down through the panoramic floors, looking down at the burning of Babylon. All right, now back to it. 1 Corinthians 15 and 52. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, meaning void of sin, unable to die. And we shall be changed. For this corruptible, we're corruptible now. We decay, we get old, we get sick, we forget things. See, we're corruptible. For this corruptible must put on incorruption. And this mortal must put on what? Immortality. That's reserved to the Israelites, to the people of the covenant people. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. All right, death isn't going to be a thing to us. It's not, and even now, as a believer, death shouldn't really be a thing to you because you understand how it works. You understand that it's not final. You understand that our final form is to be immortal, regardless of what this devil tries to do to us. You see, we won already. The elector, that's something that they understand. Yeah. Beautiful precept. Israel, world without end, 777 puts up 2 Corinthians 5 and 1. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle, here these chains of darkness, and in the scriptures it calls the flesh the chains of darkness because we're able to sin within these chains. All right. For the house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of God and house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. All right. We got a different vessel where we're perfect and we're waiting to occupy that. That's a big part of salvation that's not elaborated or touched on. You see? All right, take this off now. Okay. All right, now let's go to so that, if you a part of the elect, that's something that you're gonna desire. Okay, like it says in 2 Peter 3. All right, we seek new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Okay. Now let's go to Acts 1 and 5 because the disciples, they had that mindset. They was always asking, "Will thou at this time restore the kingdom unto Israel?" And they wanted the real kingdom, the final kingdom. All right, this is Acts 1 and 5, where John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Spirit not many days hence. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? And they asked this many a times. Okay, are we there yet? Are we there yet? That should be the spirit that you're in. Okay, now let's go to, I got one more precept for y'all. Let's go to Revelation 5 and 9. I mentioned it earlier because we're going to be immortal on the earth. You're not just going to be floating around forever on clouds like Esau depicts. We're going to be on the earth, immortal, ruling and judging in perfection. All right? This is Revelation 5 and 9. And they sung a new song saying, Thou art worthy. This happened in the heavens. And they sung a new song saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. Now, Christians will read that part and they'll say, see, every nation. No, the Israelites were scattered into every nation, which is why Paul had to go to those different churches in those lands where the Greek captivity was big, right? Because our people were taken into the Greek captivity and Hellenized, meaning converted over to pagan customs. And not just in the Greek captivity, all over the world. Which is why in John 7:35, if somebody cares to put it on the comment board, the question was asked, whither will he go? Will he go into the dispersed diaspora, the dispersed among the Gentiles? See, the dispersed among the heathen and teach the Gentiles. Because we're scattered amongst all these people. And the fullness of the gospel would draw those spirits back to the Lord. It's just in their DNA to be drawn to Yahweh Shem Yahweh, the elect. So when they hear this word, regardless of what they look like now, because this isn't a complexion thing, don't get it twisted. The bulk of our nation is going to look like the so-called Black, Latino, and Native Americans, right? But there's going to be Israelites that look like everybody. And they're going to be drawn, if they're a part of the elect, they're going to be drawn to the new song, the fullness of the gospel. And then they're going to seek to walk in it. You see? Now to put it up for me, the water. Let's read it, y'all. John 7:35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go that we shall not find him? Will he go into the dispersed? And when you look that word up there, you're going to find the word diaspora. Will he go into the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? Because you got to teach in these different, you got to teach in these places. Because you can't just tell who Israelite is anymore just by looking at them. All right, again, the bulk of us are going to look like so-called Black, Latino, Native Americans, but they're going to be Israelites that don't. So the word has to be preached among all the nations of people because we've been scattered among all the nations, which is why here it's saying out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. All right, continuing on Revelation 5 and 10. All right, that reads, it's the last precept here. Unless brother got precept on the comment board, I'll read it to you. Okay, Revelation 5 and 10. And has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. So the thing is going to be upon the face of the earth, man. And it's going to be an everlasting kingdom. And it's not just going to be here on earth. We're going to venture out. Everything that Esau puts in his movies that he desires to do, we're going to get day one. We're going to have access to all that technology and all these far out things that people can't even fathom. It's going to outdo anything that we could think of. I think that's in is it Isaiah 65? Yeah. The Lord, before we can even fix our mind and really ask, the Lord going to have it laid out for us. You understand? This is Jeremiah 12 and 9. Shalom, brother. Brother Yahweh. He puts up Jeremiah 12 and 9. It says, my inheritance is unto me as a speckled bird. All these different shades, all these different, colors, complexions. You understand? But the Lord doesn't deal with complexions. The Lord deals with the spirit that's in a man. All right? Which is why this precept is here for us. All right? My inheritance is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye assemble, all the beasts of the field, come to the vow. So the point on that precept, just wanted to read that for the brother. He put it up for me at the water. That's speckled bird. You see those birds with those different colored spots? That's the nation of Israel. Okay? So again, and I'm gonna make a part 2 to this because there's other aspects of salvation, but I really wanted to hone in on the immortality for to come. Okay? So Abaratazah, man, the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Hawa, Hashem, Shai, Hashem, Rakahakwadash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers, of course, a few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right? May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.